Hey, how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24, back with a new video. On this video, I will be doing a review on a film I just watched, which is 1986 Manhunters, and it's directed by Michael Mann, and he did films also like Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, as well as The Keep, that's an 80s horror film, and this stars William Peterson, and his name is Will Graham in this film. And then we got Brian Cox, and he stars as Hannibal Lecter. And then we got the killer here. Well, these two are the killers, but we have the main killer here, which is Tom Noonan, and he stars as Francis. I will not attempt his last name because I might mess that name up pretty bad. But anyways, this is a drama slasher film, and it's very very effective film. It's stars Will Graham, who is an FBI profiler, and he's tracking down this killer right here, who's named Francis, and he already put this guy away. I mean, caught him. It's Hannibal Lecter, the famous name, and he pretty much almost like lost his mind trying to capture him, and he had to go for some psychiatric help and all this, and his mind's real fragile, so he pretty much retires because of that cause. And then it ends up, his partner Jack ends up showing up at his house and saying they have a new case, trying to talk him out of retirement, and pretty much doesn't want to do it. And then his partner Jack ends up showing him photos of the family this guy has murdered. So he pretty much looks at his own family and says, "That could have been my family." So he's like, "I gotta get this guy and keep away from the streets and doing this." So he ends up going back out of retirement into the case, and he ends up pretty much lying to his wife, telling her that he's just going to be doing some examining, and he's not the main one in the case, but he actually is. So, because she's real concerned about his mental health, so of Will Graham, the profiler. So, anyways, it ends up getting the story of this guy. He can pretty much enter the killer's mind and see what they're seeing and track them down and pretty much enter their world, which pretty much puts his mind at high risk. So he ends up going on the case, watching the videos, and trying to get the clues to catch this guy, because he's pretty much targeting families and doing some horrible stuff to him. Man, there's a scene where he pretty much, that family he killed, that first family, gouges their eyes out and pretty much like does some obscene stuff to the wife. And also there's bite marks on the victims, which is pretty strange. So he's not your normal killer. He has some issues, which it does state that the killer, he does have like sexually frustrated issues and mommy issues, and he's pretty much this sexually frustrated guy and sick. He has a sick mind, so he's very clever. Also, he has a way of hiding it. So it pretty much gives away. Spoiler alert here: if you have not seen this movie, recommend you turn this video off. Anyways, they get connected. They're connected somehow, communicating, him and Hannibal Lecter, while he's in the cell, and he's giving messages. He pretty much gives him Will Graham's home address, so he could go get his wife and kid. And pretty much goes through some intense moments there, and it's just demented. These two killers are working dementedly, sending messages through toilet paper and stuff. It's crazy. Anyways, it takes this cat and mouse game, which is very dangerous to Will, and he ends up getting the clues, tracking down. It's pretty much, he has, I think it's 6 days to crack this case. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's under a lot of pressure, so he doesn't want to give up. Everyone's telling him to give up, but he's like determined to catch this guy. So he ends up getting some clues still, but he's still not quite there. This guy starts to get a little sloppy. He finds a love interest, which is blind. I don't remember her name, but he ends up falling in love with her and pretty much ends up kind of stalking her. And then she has like this guy that takes care of her because she's blind. So there's a scene where he's like in a van. He pulls up in the house and he's like kind of watching her from outside. Very creepy. And he kind of sees in his mind that guy that takes care of her kissing her and making out with her, and he pretty much goes in this jealous rage. He starts ripping a van like in the inside, and the psycho comes out of him. He ends up going to the house and shooting the guy with a silencer, and getting her pretty much kidnapped, hostage, taking her away. So it ends up leading. He ends up finding more information on who this guy is, and ends up finding his location as well. And they pretty much on a race to get there before he murders this blind woman. And once he gets there, it goes with a showdown between them two, which is awesome. Has him breaking through a window, and it's a fight scene. And this guy's like 6'7", man. He's no small guy. He's tossing him around. It turns into a brutal fight. Anyways, it's a highly enjoyable movie. I highly recommend this. It gave me some Cobra vibes from Stallone. I compare it to that one in my opinion. But this one might even be a little better, man. I don't know. And it's a close call there, but also know that this is pretty much set close to Silence of the Lambs as well. It's also off one of their novels, The Red Dragon, so has some similarities to that. I don't know all the information on that, but anyways, it has two versions of it. It has a theatrical cut and the director's cut. I watched both of them, and I pretty much prefer the theatrical cut. It's more violent, has some more better kills, I'd say, and longer, shows more gore, blood, stuff like that. So I recommend the theatrical cut over the director's cut. And the difference in the theatrical cut is the ending. The director's cut has a different ending. It has, on the theatrical cut, it pretty much has him afterwards, spoiler alert again, comforting the blind girl after saving her. And then pretty much sets off the movie with him and his partner sitting on this dock where this killer was, and that's how it ends. And the director's cut, it's a little different. It shows Will driving off in a van, and it's kind of raining, and he goes and knocks on the door of this family, and the dad answers with a gun pretty much to shoot him, and then they see that he's a cop and end up inviting him into their house for coffee, but he's like, "No, I'm okay. I just wanted to see you guys." And it's pretty much what I read from the commentary is that family was the next victims of this killer, so he pretty much saved them from their fate. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie. Awesome movie. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. If you haven't, I highly recommend giving this a watch. Everyone, I appreciate a like and a like or comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do there. I appreciate all of it. And everyone have a good night. This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with the movie review. Stay safe. Peace.
Intruder entered through kitchen sliding door. Nationwide victims.
Yeah, this is Will Graham of the FBI.
One killer.
This is what the subject's teeth look like. Have you ever seen blood on the moon like that?
William, you're gonna make yourself sick or get yourself killed.
Multiple trails.
Just you and me now, sport.
One hunter.
I'm gonna find you. Damn it.
FBI agent.